Hello YouTube, welcome to my first ever Matchbox restoration video. Today's video is going to be the slightly custom restoration of this Peugeot 205 Turbo 16 Rally Edition. This particular model was made in 1984 in China. The orange one is the one that will be getting restored in this video, and the other one will just be used for a donor car. I will probably reuse the shell and other parts during other videos later on in life, so it will all be thrown into the spares bin. And down in the description box below you'll find links to all the tools and products that I have used in this restoration. And if you like the video, please hit that like button and subscribe to be updated every time I upload. And in the comments, please let me know if there is a particular vehicle that you would like to see restored, and if I have it or can get it, then I will do it. Moving swiftly on and taking a closer look at the two cars. Well, this is today's victim. As you can see, the base is in very good condition. The paintwork's not too bad, but that has to go, mainly for the repair on the roof. The glass section's very scratched up. The engine bay could do with some detailing and colouring in. The wheels still turn. And the other one, as you can see, it's got a bent roof, the back has snapped off, the base has snapped, the wheels barely turn. There's just nothing to it to compare them. And there goes the boot lid. Focusing on the window sections, you can see that they've been near some serious heat. Not sure whether this was intentional or unintentional, but it's apparent that it's been either in or very near a fire. Checking the condition of the boot section now, seeing as that's the only part that we actually need from this donor car. It all appears to be generally pretty straight. At this point I'm just seeing if it's worth doing anything with in the future. I'll take it apart, see what it's like inside, and we'll decide from there. Now we'll offer up the boot section to the decent shell and see what happens. And it decides it doesn't want to sit straight from the off. Yeah, it's hard to tell on video, but it's sitting considerably higher on the roof than the actual roof itself. I can't work out at this point in the video what exactly it is causing it, but it turns out it's the hinge section that's been snapped off. When it was snapped, it was bent upwards and it pulled it forwards. We'll fix that later. Now let's crack on to the drilling. Now, being that this is my first time, nice to get some practice on something that doesn't matter. And the drilling's over, and let's see how I done. Nailed it. Okay, so it's clear now why the wheels were struggling to turn. They're covered in hair and rust. The interior section and window section are fused together, we'll call it, from the fire. We'll try and part them to see how bad the interior section is, see if that's reusable later on. and as I struggle here, it's looking less and less likely by the second. The windscreen and the dashboard are fused together, but the seats and the engine bay may be usable. And checking the condition of the shell inside actually looks a lot better than the outside. I'm impressed. Now that I've had my practice, moving on to the orange one, feeling slightly more confident than before. And the drilling's over. Pry it off. Nailed it twice. Are there any surprises inside? Nope, it's all looking very clean. Might need to polish up them axles slightly. And the interior section also pretty immaculate. And as long as the windows are okay, as they appear to be from the outside, then we have a winner. It's a very straight, clean shell of the matte roof section, which is now becoming apparent. And as a result, the window is fine, no cracks, and it's not gone brittle. Just some 1500 followed by 3000 grit sandpaper, followed by a final polish, and the pledge solution should be fine. Moving on to the paint removal, I'm using nitro Moors, just painting it on, dropping them in a container, and leaving them for 10 minutes. And after washing them with soapy water, we burnish them with the wire brush cup tool on the cheapo Amazon £20 Tack Live rotary tool. The body polished up very nicely, and some casting errors became very apparent, easily fixable with some needle files. Now this is the part where I decide to fix the fitment. And the penny drops what's causing the problem. Out come the pliers to bend them back into shape, and they don't want to bend, they would prefer to snap. So off they come. And straightening out that bar, easy. And if by magic, it sits perfectly now. Just fixing up some more casting lines with the old needle files. And now just check in, see what it'll look like as a finished product. And just for fun, checking what it would look like with some Hot Wheels wheels as a street going version. very nice. Now, back to reality. Off camera, I fixed the boot section. What I did, I used milliput to reform the roof, I should say. And within there, so the boot was still functional and still open properly, I put in a small aerial tube from an old radio controlled antenna. Just that size there. And glued that in place, then covered the milliput over the top just to secure it in. Milliput is 2-part epoxy, also linked below. So that's the milliput all sanded smooth, and it opens like it would have out of the factory very nicely. Now just going over it with some 600 sandpaper there, just to smooth it all off, getting it ready for paint. And once that's all done, giving it an isopropyl wipe over and a final check over before painting. And it looks pretty tacky in the photos, but it's actually quite smooth. I'm very happy with how the shut lines came out. Now onto my homemade helping hands, which is a piece of wood, some copper earth cable, just screwed together with an alligator clip. On with the Tamiya fine white primer. Just one smooth, even coat. And once that's dried, on with coat number 2. And a final inspection. And off camera I installed a couple of decals. A YouTube logo on the bonnet, just for memories, and some mud splats up the side, which in hindsight I should have done with some matte brown paint using the airbrush, but live and learn. Now onto the details. I use my Molotow liquid chrome pen for undercoating the lights, and the exhaust in the engine bay and the battery terminals. Then orange paint pen over the indicators, which adds depth with the Molotow chrome, and red over the rear lights. Then using Citadel Nuln oil for a black wash, covering the whole car, and then blotting / dabbing it off causes a splashed muddy puddle effect. And this is how she turned out after the black wash. I'm very impressed for a first time. And this is after a final clear coat. And back to the beginning for a final reminder of what it looked like before, just before the final reveal. And this is what it looks like now, finally finished as a very dirty used rally car. It's not the best. I feel like I could have done better, but it was my first time and I have used this as a learning curve, so my next one, I promise, will be 100% better. But you've made it this far, so thank you very much for watching. Please give me a like and subscribe and hit that bell icon for updates. My next one will be out next Saturday. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.